I've got an answer for you straight away.
Or-
The United States. Shots fired. 2-2.
Definitely. Literally shots fired.
Yeah.
What up,
Hey, Robin.
Hi.
So I've got bad news.
Oh no.
But I think, do we want to wait for Perrin to show up before
we
we
should wait
go
for
and talk about
Juggy.
it?
I think
Perrin, we don't know because he's.
Yeah, okay,
He's
fair
not
enough.
playing.
So bad news is Juggy won't be playing with us anymore. Apparently he has some RL issues, and
Oh, that's
yeah, he doesn't know if he's going to return to either this game or D&D for the foreseeable future.
That's sad.
That is
So-
sad.
So what we do need to talk about is if we want to continue Sunstalkers or if we want to. I'm perfectly fine to keep DMing for you guys because I like DMing for you guys and I hope you guys enjoy the game. But do you guys want to continue Sunstalkers or do you want to play Next Crawl, which is the other campaign that I've been running? Or do you guys want to play something entirely altogether? Or does someone else want to DM? And
I like the Sunstalkers. I'd like to continue playing it.
I have no problem continue playing it.
Okay. So that's the other issue. If both Juggy and Seraphina are unable to play anymore because of conflicts.
We can still get another member.
Yeah. In fact, since like I know Rick has always expressed some interest in jumping in. Does he want to jump in to replace Juggy?
I can see if he will or not.
Okay. Did you said that right?
No, I like Rick. That's a shame. I like Juggy.
Yeah.
Let's see who else that I. Well, I don't really know
Perfect.
most of the people. I haven't played
Preferably
with.
someone who's not a dick.
Yeah, not. Oh my. I love Perrin's game. It's really fun, but not Nico, Kit. Oh my god, he takes like if my turn's 5. Like we'll say if my turn's like 45 seconds, which it's not normally. It's like this, and this. He takes 5 minutes.
Rick has no problem joining.
Okay. Fantastic. Which is actually kind of on point because of reasons.
I'm trying to think of another possible 5th. I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt replacing Seraphina and just have her on when she's on because as far as I can tell, her schedule is pretty hectic.
Yeah, it seems like it changes a lot.
Oh, by the way, I found this artist by the name of Levo Doom. And holy shit. His maps are the most amazing fucking maps I've ever fucking seen. I really like it's so good. It's almost inspired me to like create a fucking entire campaign based on his map.
What's his name? You said Levo Doom?
Yeah, Levo Doom. I'll link you one of his maps and you'll understand why the fuck it's so amazing. It's just so amazing.
Hey, Perrin.
Yeah, take a look at that. It's just fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, Rick's gonna hop on in a moment.
Okay. So, Perrin, to fill you in, so bad news, Juggy will be leaving our game. He has RL issues that basically will preclude him from playing any more D&D in the foreseeable future. So we've got an issue at the moment because from what I can gather, although Seraphina says that her thing's a temporary thing, I've got a suspicion that it's more permanent than that. So we basically need 2 additional people. If we want to, so that we have a discussion. Do we want to continue Sunstalkers? Do we want to switch over to Next Scroll, another game that I've been running, another setting I've been running rather, or should we want to? Do we want to try something entirely new altogether, or do we want someone else to DM? And
I have no problem with whatever the group decides.
He's on his phone, remember, because he's literally stepping off a plane, so it's...
yeah.
I'm playing right now.
Could you? I'll actually type this. Okay. Oh, he's on the plane right now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow.
Well, Robin says she's down for whatever. I would like to continue.
Okay. Perrin, do you have a choice? Do you have a preference? Okay. We will continue then.
Yeah, I can remod Thalia to be the healer at the moment.
Sure.
And
that kind of changes plans for a moment.
However, I think Rick's planning on playing a rogue still.
Okay.
But he can go something else if we need it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey Rick, how's it going?
Not too bad. How about you?
I've got carpal tunnel.
Yeah, that sucks. I've got early stages of that in both arms.
Oh, luckily for me, it's just in the right. But yeah, no, that's neither here or there. So I'll jump in. You've got the link for the game, right?
Let me check Roll20 real quick.
I'll throw you the link for the game.
Well, at least I don't have to get proficiency in lockpicking.
Oh, you guys do have that knocker.
Yeah.
No, try to keep forgetting about it.
And that's not a euphemism.
I've only had to use it the one time, and it was well worth it.
But yeah, like I said, I can make something else. I just really love rogues. I was planning on just basically remaking Injects.
Would have no tank. Oof, man. I guess I...
No, you really shouldn't take.
No, me tanking's bad. It never ends well.
I could look at Barbarians.
You know what? If you're going to roll a barbarian, I will allow you to roll a Goliath. I know Rum will be super salty about that.
No, you said I could have... No, you know, I was quite happy with the half work at the very beginning. But I just like it would be better.
I kind of like the idea of a Halfling Barbarian, though.
That's fine as well. That's perfectly okay. The
Just
reason
the
is
concept.
because the area that they're headed towards is the homeland of the Goliaths, so it totally makes sense that you guys might run into one.
But yeah, I haven't played like pretty much any class other than a rogue since like 3.5, so I'm gonna actually need to look at the player's handbook for a while on this stuff.
Well, if you need to take the night to, you know, redo everything for the new situation, I'm fine with that.
You know what? I don't. Although,
because I mean, we don't know if we're going to get what's her name rezzed.
I'm okay. I'm fairly confident enough in my DMing skills to improvise on the spot. that as if everyone is okay with it.
I mean, I'm giving you the out, but if you want to do it, I'm game. I mean, I could understand from a DM standpoint, well, everything's really changed, so I need to, party members are gone, so we gotta. But if you want to, shoot from the hip, I'm down with that.
I will. Oh man.
Because I mean, do we want to spend the gold to try to resurrect Seraphina if she's not going to come back, or if we come back, we don't know. Arthur may have left for whatever reason. We don't know. I mean, we could have retconned it where.
No need for retcon.
I'm just trying to make it easy for you. I like this game. I really like Obi. I do not want it to end. That and Milo's crazy mind game. We need more halflings, actually. Female halflings.
I'll ask you on Roll20 if you guys. All right. So, I think. Do we want to get started, or do we want to get to Perrin actually gets home?
We can wait till Perrin gets home. It gets Rick a chance to look through everything.
Okay. It's fine. He can. Oh, don't wait. He says. I assume that means he's going to take a little bit before he gets home. Okay. So first thing is first. You two specifically, are leaving the alleyway, carrying Seraphina.
Yeah, I believe Thalia's carrying her, and I got her pack, her satchel.
Right, and Milo is following along. Sans bird. Sans Ralph? No, it wasn't Ralph. No, it was Ralph.
It was
yeah,
Ralph.
Ralph. Yeah.
Ralph. Yes, Sans Ralph. So yeah, so you guys are leaving the alley. Are you doing anything like? I'll explain the situation. So you're leaving the alleyway. There's a spell in the distance that's going off, like ding, 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 and there's people out on the street, vaguely just looking concerned or curious in the direction, whereas they weren't really. They were off somewhere else before. It's not like a large number of people, but just like enough looky-loos. And you can see in the distance some guards running in this direction. So are you guys GTFOing as fast as possible, or are you like trying to blend into the growing crowd, or?
I think we're trying to get away as fast, but as sneaky as possible. Kind of like, Assassin's Creed it.
Okay. Choose which one is your priority, I guess, with either athletics or stealth?
Well, let's see. Hold on.
Actually, at this point, she'd ask, Milo if he has enough spell points left to cast, invisibility on Seraphina.
I believe Milo has enough spell points to cast invisibility on all of you.
Well, then let's go ahead and do that. It only lasts up to an hour, but that's all we
No,
need.
sorry, he can cast it on 2 of you because he can cast the level 3.
Then we'll just say,
Why don't you just cast it on Seraphina and Thalia since she's carrying her, and I'm just walking.
Okay.
We're
Okay,
just walking.
so I'm going to assume you guys do, Milo, you do that. Oh, okay, he says. And he reaches out, wiggles his hands.
In his broken shovel.
And
disguise self is first.
I think he's doing invisibility. I thought you guys asked him to do
he
the
is.
He literally just wrote it in Discord. First disguise
Oh,
self
I
and
understand.
invisibility.
So he invisibilities Seraphina and Thalia. I get it. I understand. Okay, and then he uses disguise self to make himself look unburnt and unscathed. So the only person who's looking visibly the worst for wear is Obi.
That's fine. I got all that drunk I got in the scrap.
Okay. So yeah, with a 17 stealth rating, you get with a 17 stealth roll, you get a few odd looks from just rubberneckers. But the guards themselves don't actually catch sight of you as you kind of fade backwards into the terrain. Which direction are you guys going? In fact, I'll throw you back to them.
Assuming we're not serpentining, but hauling ass back to the ship.
Okay. So you guys were about here.
And I'm grumbling to Milo. We never got to see the parade grounds or the museum.
All right. So as you guys get to the gate, heading down the street past the plaza, you see that there is a checkpoint set up at the gate, and the guards appear to be scrutinizing quite vigilantly anyone passing through from the gate and out of the gate.
Well,
what's your guys' next plan of action?
Just probably to get back to the skyship.
Yeah, but we have to get through this gate to get back to the skyship.
Correct. There is, that towards the south, you saw it on your way in coming in from the gantry. To your south and to your north, there are additional gates, and even further back from that. You're not sure if they would be as well guarded, or you can't see that quite that far.
I'm going to take a side to a second, and I don't think any of the clothes I wear can retain water because I spent so much for them not to retain water.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my alchemy jug out, say, I guess beer, and kind of just rub it in my mustache, my hair.
Okay.
So if anyone stops me, I smell like I'm a brewery as much as I can for my face.
As you're doing that, I would like for everyone to roll perception.
Hey, what book is the Goliath info in?
Elemental evil. And also Volos.
Yeah, elemental evil.
And Volos.
Alright, so you guys are too wrapped up in basically surveying the gate and preparing for it. Milo, you are the only one who notices an odd sound. It's not so much a sound as it is a sensation. And it is the sensation of you know that feeling when you're ritual casting. You are familiar with this feeling. When you're ritual casting a spell, and as you start to channel power through the sigils, you realize that somewhere along the way of drawing out the magic circle and various ritual components, you have made an error, and that the spell is about to go horribly awry, but has not yet. It's that sensation, and the sensation draws your attention towards the gantry where the airship is parked on atop of. And as you furrow your brow, puzzling at whatever is causing the sensation to you, the gantry that the airship is attached to explodes.
Oh, snap.
Sending masonry, timber work, planks arcing out all over the city, throwing up with a dull percussive boom. Screams ring out all across the city as debris starts falling from the sky, and you guys watch in open jaw, open mouth horror as the airship that was tied to the gantry begins to fall, like slowly at first, listing to one side, but then gaining momentum as it starts plummeting towards the ground. Just before it disappears behind the building and the wall beside you, however, you see it slam to a stop in midair, hanging precariously, slanted forwards and downwards towards one side. And then after a few moments more of it hanging dead still in the air, it begins to right itself and slowly but surely float back up into the air. Now, you guys have never seen... Actually, you guys have seen this before, haven't you? When they withdrew the balloons and the sails to go into quote-unquote like combat mode. Yeah. It's now operating through some levitation mechanism that you've never witnessed how it works. But it begins to lift. And it lifts actually clear out of the dome, the top of the open city, to a quite high state, like out of rifle shot before it begins to deploy. It's I forgot what I called them.
The
bladders? The bladders, yeah, the gas bags, whatever the ballasts, yeah, that's correct.
When this is going on, is the guard at the gate staring at everything?
Yeah, no, they're gone. They're gone. They've all gone running from the gate towards the explosion. To their credit, the gate is currently unmanned at all.
I guess we still gotta make it. We still gotta make it back to the airship. I don't know how we're gonna get up there, but I hope they won't leave us here. And kind of, I guess, start walking forward towards all that madness, but not as fast as the guards.
Okay. Is that consensus? Perrin says rescue crews may be on their way.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go.
Oh, that's a good point.
Throw her in the debris. Oh no, she died. These look like stab wounds. Hey, look, she's burnt, okay? It's clearly she was in the explosion.
I guess in the course of triage, the dead bodies don't really rate much of a resurrection.
Yeah, I mean, resurrection isn't unheard of, but like, it's not common. So like, they won't just go around resurrecting random dead people that they find lying on the streets.
I mean, I personally could use some healing. I'm pretty wore out from the fight, but let's try to make it back to the ship.
Okay. So as you guys rush through the gate, you reach the central plaza, and there is the guards are, to their credit, what guards have shown up have currently been trying to get the crowd under control. Several dozen teams of people carrying buckets and various other accoutrements are running towards the scene of the Gantry explosion. Not only because the Gantry itself is now fully ablaze like a lit torch, with smaller secondary explosions lighting off from whatever volatile substance was being stored inside, but also because several neighboring buildings are in the process of catching fire from either debris or just contact with the open flames.
Racine really didn't want us to make it to the temple.
Yeah. The airship you see that's about 600 or 700 feet above the city begins to move off to the north slowly.
So Thalia's going to assume that with everybody going toward the Gantry, she's going to head toward the tavern where the rest of the crew was at.
Okay. You know that a couple of groups of actually, you know that there were plans to go to the flow west of the city.
Yes.
But you're not sure. That was supposed to be after basically they got off duty. You're not sure if how many of them went towards there so far.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Well,
Sure.
it strikes me for once in this city where we've actually done nothing illegal. We're simply on the ship some time and we got attacked, defended ourselves, and if we were to go to the city, like maybe the main area, eventually they'd have to send something back for us, correct?
Yes, but it took a week for them to get up here. It took a week to get back. By then, the stair will have formed. And
Well, we don't know if the ship's going off. If is it continuing to go off in the original direction, or is it coming to a stop?
But it's not heading at full speed. It's just kind of heading in a what you could almost say a cautious
away from where it just got attacked from.
Yeah, it's headed in a slightly northeasterly direction. It's clear that it's leaving the city, however.
Oh, fantastic.
there's no way we can catch up to it.
No way we can catch up to it, and we don't know if there's any of the crew here. Can't you? I would never know how this works. Can't you magic something to Arthur or someone up there to tell them we're alive and we need to get on the ship?
That's a good point, because Arthur's still up there. She will send a message to Arthur.
I think it's out of range of message, right?
What about sending? Sending's everywhere, right?
Sure. Yeah, sending is everywhere. You don't get a reply.
Oh, that's not good. Either he's unconscious or he's dead.
What about the lieutenant, Whitmore?
We don't know who was on the ship and who wasn't. Let's head to the. Let's drop. No, we'll keep the body with us.
You're fairly familiar with with Lieutenant Wilmore,
Yeah.
and the XO who never introduced his name.
Yeah, but let's see who's at the flow. Because I could also send it to
Alright.
any of the halflings.
All right, so you guys successfully make it out of the west gate through Central Square. There is just the beginning of order being reestablished and the guards being returning to their post. Although there's several, like you suspect you've seen in evidence about 100 guardsmen and other types of people, emergency personnel heading towards the city. One of them actually catches your condition, OB, and actually stops for a moment to dress the worst of your wound. He gets so he uses the healer feat to bandage you, which I believe is like 1d10 plus something plus the character level.
Should I just roll the d10?
Roll me a 1d6 plus 4 plus your level.
Oh,
that's not
not what I wanted to do.
It is 1d6 plus 4 hit points.
plus level.
Yep.
I'll take
All
it.
right, so you heal for 11 hit points. He starts to get you can see that there's like the process of going through his mind. It's like, wait a second, these are like sword cuts and stuff, but like someone calls out to him like hurry the fuck up or whatever. And he quickly loses his train of thoughts and just
I-
like tell you guys.
I notice that he's starting to recognize that these aren't like normal.
Yeah.
I would say something along the lines of, the blasted window exploded in my face.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious that it's not
Window, shards
Window.
everywhere.
Yeah, but luckily for you, he's clearly much too busy to like connect the dots. So when his superior calls out to him to get a fucking move on, he quickly loses track of the train of thought that he was pursuing and just hurries after the rest of his these white capped individuals. He doesn't heal the rest of you because the rest of you are either invisible or don't look visibly injured.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So you guys make it to. Yes, that's right. I just haven't given him the sheet yet. Man, randomly generated names on these sheets are amazing.
Fuhua Ibois? Fuhuak Ibois.
It sounds like an Ewok character to me. All right. And it's just the standard. He can either take point by or he can roll 46, keep 3. All right, so you guys make it to the flow. You arrive. The place is fairly abuzz with activity. In fact, as you watched, several more people flow in through this door, through these like old, almost like Western type double doors, with clearance at the top and bottom.
Saloon doors, love them.
Yeah, saloon doors, precisely. You glance through the opening and you can tell that the place is not packed to capacity, but it's fairly busy. And the tone of the crowd seems to be, I believe the term would be a buzz. Like there is not so much merriment as there is a lot of people talking at once.
Do we see any of the crew of the ship?
Roll me a perception.
Damn it, more move.
And Thalia, you need to roll me a dex save. All right. Someone nearly shoulder checks you in the chin, but you like glancing out the corner of your eye, you nimbly duck out of the way at the last second. This person blunders on, oblivious to the invisible person that was there. Yeah. So you guys glance in, Obadiah. So first, Thalia, you're too distracted by the person nearly running into you. But Obadiah, you take a general survey first through the door and then duck to one side through one of the generous windows. Although the windows here have an odd sheen to them, you're still able to see through it, and you don't see any signs of uniforms within the establishment.
Oh, bollocks. I'd look at Thalia and Milo. Well, I would look in the direction I think Thalia's in and say, well, do you have any ideas?
She's in the other direction.
Oh well.
Well, I would look at the disguise, Milo Hilo. He is overwhelmed with the noise.
What was your question? I'm sorry. The rental car.
That's fine. We have no idea what to do. We're at the inn. Well, I guess there's more than one tavern in this area, right?
Yes, although this was the one that you were recommended to by one of the crew.
Okay, well, at this point, Thalia will try another sending off to Wilmore.
Okay. So what are you sending? It doesn't have to be 25 words, but
No.
generally a short sentence.
Ship explodes, fly away, where?
The response is fairly immediate and it's short and succinct. It says ship heading towards alternate site. Will send relief. Wait in place. Look for survivors. Ship suffered casualties and then missing.
Okay, so then she'll tell the others we need to head to the Gantry to find survivors.
Okay, well, what about our package in the meantime?
Put her in a bag of holding?
Wow, people die and suddenly they become an inanimate object.
Well, I'm not going to say in the middle of a very large, I don't know how large, but a crowded room. What are we going to do with our dead body? I mean, she can't get any more dead.
Well, at this point, let's stick her in a bag of holding, and at least it'll preserve her. What is true?
Are we sitting down for this?
No. You guys are currently still outside the floor.
I'll just kind of like look around and like pull out my bag of holding and just kind of open it and just kind of like just hold it open and just like look in the opposite direction.
You feel Thalia drop gently, or I guess unload gently, Seraphina into the bag.
Alright, okay, here's an important question, and it's not really important, I'm just joking. But feet first or head first?
Feet first.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in my other hand, I'm holding her bag, her satchel holding. And I guess I'll roll that up and put that in like a rolled up pocket of mine, and like inside my coat.
For a second, I thought you were saying you're going to put it in the bag of holding.
No. Because then we would
did it last time.
Then we would be starting the new campaign because I would be blowing up everything.
Not necessarily. It would just send us to an alternate dimension.
I already have the alternate dimension planned. You guys just wait.
I'm adding to my equipment, body of Seraphina.
If you guys ever feel like finding out where you go when you cause a magical vortex explosion, just to let you guys know, I'm fully prepared. So.
before. Oh, I don't know. It might be too late now. But didn't she have a mouse on her?
I think the mouse is dead by now.
All right. Well, problem solved.
Because she was looking for one. I don't think she ever summoned one.
That's not Milo speaking, by the way. That's me speaking.
All right. Well then, I guess we should head to the gantry and volunteer to help.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys don't go into the flow?
We were in the flow.
We're in the flow, so we're going to the gantry now to look for survivors.
You were outside the flow.
We didn't go in yet?
No. I assume you weren't. After nearly getting shoulder checked, just standing outside the flow, being invisible. I assume you're not going to go inside to a crowded establishment, milling with people while invisible. It's like kind of like walking on the freeway while invisible.
Okay, well, at this point, to dispel the magic, instead of asking Milo to do it, she's just going to,
Smack him in the face.
No, smack Obi.
Oh. You know what? It's been his day. He's
Probably on
attacking
the
me.
back of his head. Like a Gibbs
Okay.
slap.
Make me a 1d20 plus dex roll. Actually, it's not an improvised weapon, so I mean, everyone has proficiency of improvised weapons, so add your proficiency bonus as well.
That'd be add 3, so it'd be a 16.
Does a 16 hit your AC?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
No,
so
but
yeah,
it dispels the invisibility.
yeah, it dispels the invisibility. So you hear the telltale sounds of with your keen senses, someone swinging for the back of your head, taking a swing at you from behind you, and you just manage to flinch aside so that the smack glances off the side of your head harmlessly as Thalia materializes behind you.
I turn around with a harumph with my fist cocked, but then I'll see it's Thalia. Then, that was no need for that.
Ended the spell quickly.
Well, to the gantry then.
Into the flow to check to see if there's any people in there, then to the gantry.
Very well.
All right. So as you enter, there's a harassed young man / boy who's currently serving one of the nearby tables, whose patrons are just outright ignoring him, not really through malice, but they seem to be in a deep, intense discussion about something as he's laying down the drinks, and he kind of like put upon, like he's said this a million times today. He kind of turns in your direction and just kind of calls out and says, sorry, got distracted. He said, give me a moment. Shit, where's the goddamn? So he says, ale is 4 coppers. If you want a room, it's 5 electrum, and if you want a table, you're gonna have to wait. And he gestures towards all the rest of the inn, and yeah, all the tables are packed.
And actually, Thalia's gonna stop him right there. She's gonna pull out her flute and make a screeching noise with it. She's not purposely, or she's purposely making it off tune and just horrible to listen to, so everybody starts going quiet. And then
there's a momentary pause.
And she'll be like, what was the ship's name, by the way? I forget.
I put my notes.
It was the Talon.
Anybody from the Talon who's here, we need to talk to you.
There's a moment of silence as people gawk at you, and then they glance around to see if anyone is going to answer in the affirmative, but no one does. And then the buzz of conversation starts to build again as they return to their conversation.
Okay, nobody's here. We can go to the gantry now.
Very well.
All right. So you guys head back towards the central district, towards the gantry, which is still apparently ablaze. You can see it even from your perspective. You can see in the distance two figures floating in the air, off to one side of the tower, which is now ablaze and twisted to one side, and they appear to be throwing their hand forwards, and like these walls of water would materialize from nowhere and just dump on the tower. But it doesn't seem to be like putting it out completely. It just seems to be a struggle, you would say. So yeah, you guys get to the west gate of the North District, and the guards are once more at the gates, and there's actually quite a bit of traffic built up around the gate, as people are waiting to be let through. And from what you can gather from watching from 60 feet away, is that the guards seem to be visibly scrutinizing every individual passing in and out of the gate, asking them questions, inspecting their cargo, if they have some sort of a cart or a carriage.
And is that people leaving that area, or is that people leaving and entering?
Entering or leaving.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go up and tell them we were on the Talon and we're here to help search for any survivors. You know what? It's weird that we don't have to lie to guards. Normally it's bizarre and we have to lie, but we're legitimately here from the Talon to search for survivors.
Okay, so is that your plan? Approach the gate, tell the guards that you guys are from the Talon, and you guys are here to help search for survivors?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys approach the guardsmen, and yeah, the guardsmen, as you guys basically filter through the line, the guardsman stops you and says, business for entering the plaza.
Going to help at the gantry to look for survivors.
He glances up at you and says, and then he does a double take, and then he says, you look like you need the help for of an hospice rather than running into an inferno.
Nah, this is everyday thing. We can help at the gantry.
Roll me a deception.
We were on the Talon.
because you are cut up, like you've got several sword wounds and bolt wounds.
I have a bolt in the butt and some fire damage, but that's it. No sword.
Okay. Still, I believe you're bleeding. You're quite bloody, right?
I was quite bloody.
Yeah. So the guardsman looks you with more intensity, and he says, what are your names?
Jade Rue.
Oh, Obadiah. Listen, friend. We had friends, and we need to go in there and help save their lives. And wasting time. They could be dying as we sit here with your bureaucratic bullshit.
What is that? Intimidation?
Not really. It's just logic.
Okay. He says he replies to you. By the way, Perrin, I assume you answered with your alias, whatever that was.
Pop.
Pop. Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah. So he says to you guys, the guards and the magistrate have the gantry fire in hand, and will have it secured shortly. As for your friends, you'll have to wait until they have the scene contained. There's a hospice that way. There's a temporary hospice that way, and he points towards like a nearby plaza behind him. And he says, physicians and medics have set up some treatment center there.
Where are they keeping the bodies of the dead so we can maybe identify someone?
He says it'll probably be at the same place. Johnson! He turns and calls out over his shoulder. He says, Johnson, escort these three to the hospice. And the human runs over, throws a hasty salute, and says, "Yes, sir." And gestures for you three to head in that direction ahead of him.
As we follow
him. You catch out of the corner of your eye as this guard captain, this gate captain is issuing order to this Johnson, that he flashes some sort of hand signal. Although you're not familiar with the dialect, if you will, of this city, you are aware that it's some sort of hand signal shorthand for guardsmen to basically. It's like thieves' cant, but for guardsmen.
I don't know if this helps, but I know cant, which is like the halfling speak from back in the
past. It's not okay. Like gang language. It's actually, you know what? Roll me an insight check.
Because I have never once got to use that language.
Yeah. Roll me an insight check to see how well you can ascertain. Yeah, okay. You although you're not completely familiar with the iteration of the guards kind, like you're aware of something similar amongst your own kind, but you generally work out the gist that he's letting Johnson know that there's something weird going on here, and to be on his guard.
Okay, well, that works.
So yeah, and Johnson like basically stands to one side, throws out a hand, like a gesturing hand, like you first, like this way kind of gesture, but he subtly has his right hand on his pommel of his short sword, not really like drawing it, not with the intent to draw it, but just has it like sitting on the pommel of his short sword.
Well, we have no intentions of causing any reaction, so.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Okay.
I'll just.
Although Thalia will remark, would have been nice to see all this attentive guardness where we were mugged.
You were mugged, miss.
Oh yes.
Where did this happen?
We were on our way to the museum. I'm pretty sure that if you look through the alleyways near the museum, you'll find a pretty charred one. That's where we were at.
He said, charred? You mean like a fire?
Oh yes, somebody decided it'd be a good idea to have a firebomb, I guess the best word for it is. Instead, it's detonation after mugging us.
When did this happen?
Right before the explosion.
He glances at you, and I'm going.
She's being completely truthful, so.
Not really a mugging. This is out of character. It was more of an assassination attempt.
It was an assassination attempt. Like, clearly it was an assassination. Like, the mugging was the pretense to lure you guys into the alleyway. And it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, you watch him, Obadiah, you
Mm-hmm.
you are aware of this look, having seen it on many of your partners and friends. There's this look of calculation, like he's piecing together bits and pieces, and there's like a decision tree in his mind that he's currently following, like if, or, and then, procedural, guardsman's procedural manual. And he says, I'll sure.
Did you cut out? Kev, did you cut out? Sorry, I didn't hear that. My internet.
If you would like to roll insight, Obadiah is suspicious that he might be leading you guys off somewhere else to murder you. Okay, so
Wow.
whether it's from PTSD trauma, but the last time you guys saw this kind of intensity scrutiny-wise was when you were in the alleyway just before the explosion. And you guys can't help but wonder if this guy is working for the assassins and is about to lead you off into some alleyway to dispose of you. I'm going to snip this for Perrin's
Enjoyment.
enjoyment.
What's up?
He didn't roll an insight.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. You know what? You're right. He did not roll an insight. I will roll one for him. Just be fair.
If he rolls in that one, I'm calling shenanigans on the DM's rolling.
They ran out that car, so I got like a premium one. Nice.
Alright, so insight. Oh, it's a low number.
Well, at least it wasn't in that one, so.
See, actually, funnily enough, his is the worst. I think, Milo, you rolled a 3 on your insight check. So you are convinced that this guy is leading you off into a dark alleyway. Probably under the order of the guardsman who was flashing him weird hand gestures that you guys didn't understand.
Alright, I guess we're following. He's leading us.
You find it suspicious that he insists on you guys walking ahead of him and him following behind you at your backs.
Ain't nothing we can do about it.
Okay. So yeah, Johnson, the suspicious guard, the highly suspect guard, leads you guys eastwards, and then towards what looks like the beginning of some sort of like an open air. There are like several dozen blankets and cots and just market stalls pushed to one side, and there are several dozen, like 30 or 40 people bringing buckets of water and treating various people who appear to have suffered some kind of injuries. Several of them are simply like it's you can tell just by a glance it's probably just like smoke inhalation or like shock or something. They got they're seated with like a warm cup of something in their clasped in their hands with blankets tucked around their shoulders. And Johnson basically points you guys over towards someone who's basically yelling at, like, directing 2 or 3 different other people coming and going. And he says to you guys, well, we best get you checked in. And he does some suspicious. He flags down a nearby guardsman, and they stand off a little bit, like 5 or 10 feet away, and have like a short conversation out of earshot. The other guardsman glances towards you several times suspiciously, and by suspiciously I mean you're suspicious of them, not they're suspicious of you.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. We're fine. I guess I'll just find a cot and take my jacket off and wait till someone comes over to heal me.
Okay. So when the various harried people come about to treat your wounds, they see that your wounds have already been triaged, and they kind of just ignore the rest of your non-fatal, non-critical cuts and bruises and move on to Thalia. So Thalia, go ahead and roll me a 1d6 plus 4 plus your level, and I'll roll the same for Milo. So Milo, you regained 14 hit points.
It was 1d4 plus 4 or plus 6?
Plus 4.
Oh, then minus 4
and then plus 6.
1d4
So you regain
plus
14 hit points. So 15 hit points.
Is that right? Because 6 is my level.
Lower levels? I thought it was level 5. So
No, it's plus 4 plus 6.
Okay, so it's minus 4 then. So 11.
Yeah, 11.
I owe myself 1 more hit point then.
Actually, I think we might be level 5.
We're 6.
We're 6. Yeah, I thought we were. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine. What it is I just turned 6 in Friends game, and I thought, no, we're 5. I think that we're 6 because I just turned 6 last week.
All right.
I was wrong.
So I think none of you are no longer quote unquote bloody, but you're hurt.
While we're resting here, can I roll a hit die?
Sure. You can roll hit dice up to your Constitution modifier.
Sweet.
As you guys take a breather here for an hour.
Well, that helps.
Okay. So eventually, Johnson, who's been hanging around nearby, returns God, this page is a fucking mess. Why? Why is this page such a mess?
What page?
How are you even supposed to find anything on here?
Are you yelling at
Sorry.
Bren?
I'm just complaining. Don't mind me. Give me one moment. All right, so eventually, Private Constable Johnson returns with a distinguished-looking dwarven, short, stout dwarven individual, who introduces himself as Captain Bori, B-O-R-I. He actually introduces himself as Bori with an I. And he says, Johnson tells me you guys were involved in some sort of a mugging near the Eastern District shortly before the explosion. Can you tell me more about it?
Sure, we had just finished shopping with the guy that was selling Yeti furs, which I don't think were actually Yeti furs. When we passed, I'm guessing we passed through the gate after that, I gave a homeless man some money, and then somebody came up and robbed us of one of our satchels, which we got back but we took a lot of damage taking it.
I see. Is this your account? He asks. Is this your recount of the incident? He asks. He asks the others. He turns towards you, Obadiah, and Milo.
I don't say anything because I wasn't going to tell the guards about this at all. I was just trying to get back to the boat, so I'm just going to kind of grunt.
How about you, Milo? You don't have to reply the whole thing, just the general. I assume. You know what? Never mind. Milo stays quiet-ish. So yeah, Captain Bori says, if you don't mind, I would like to conduct a more in-depth discussion about what happened. We suspect that the two incidents, and he gestures over towards the Gantry fire, which is now under control. The tower's ruined, like it's just completely fucked. But it is now basically a pillar of embers emitting smoke. However, there's no active flame going on. He's nods towards it and says, "We suspect the two incidents are linked."
Thalia will take 2 pieces of paper and do a quick sketch of the guy that Obi was fighting, and then the girl that she was fighting.
Okay. He stops you before you get very far, and he says, "You can use our stationery at the guards barracks, at the guardsmen's hall. If you don't mind following."
Last time
following me,
we were told not to go off as singles, and we were as a group and we got mugged, so there's no way I'm going anywhere alone.
And this is important, but we were on the Talon, and we need to search this to see if there's any survivors of the crew. And I think that might be a little more important than a mugging investigation.
He says, "My guards will, if there are any survivors of the missing from the Talon, which I've received message that there is people missing from the Talon. My guards will find it. You'll be of more use at the guardsman's barracks, and he nods towards 2 or 3 other guards who are hanging around nearby, and he just gestures forward for you guys to follow him.
I'll go, but I'm openly hostile. I'm not going along willingly.
So you don't need an insight check.
Spitting at anyone or cussing, but it's like don't poke the angry bear type looking.
You don't need an insight check, mainly from your background and just the situation is that obvious. Like you're not under arrest, but like
we're in custody. We're not under arrest.
Yeah, you're in custody. It's clear that like they don't want you going anywhere, and they've got questions.
All right, and I'll mumble something. Well, if we find out that someone died now, when they could have been saved, and we're here with these dumb questions, you and I will have a discussion.
All right, so they escort you to the guards' hall, called the Hall of Justice. Nothing to do with Marvel or DC.
Is it? Oh, hold on one second. Let me find that picture. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so the entrance is in the shape of a cutout of a big hammer, with the hammerhead down. So an upside down T, basically. It is actually right beside to the back of the city hall, and to the further back from that is like what appears to be some sort of courthouse. And the guardsmen, as you enter the guardsmen's area, they ask you to turn over any weapons that you might have on you, and he says, we'll have these will be returned to you when you've been when you leave. These will be returned to you when you leave. For now, we'll secure them in the lockup. And he gestures towards like a clerk, like an evidence room almost kind of thing.
Don't have much of a choice. And I'll well, does he try to take our bags, or is he just like, what I'll do is I'll pull out my pistol and I'll hand it to him, but I won't hand over my bag.
Yeah, he'll point that out. He'll say, bags too, if you will.
I'll grumble and hand it to him. If anything's missing.
All right. Okay, so he actually takes you. He doesn't split you up, which is what you would do if you suspected suspects of wrongdoing.
Oh, absolutely.
For the moment, it seems that he's treating you guys as potential witnesses for now, but there's definitely like you can just tell from your background that there's definitely an air of like something is going on here, and his detective, his Sherlock Holmes senses are going off. And he takes you to like a conference room of some kind, and he asks if you want cafe, if you want caf, if you want tea, if you need anything.
I would like a big glass of apple juice.
All right. He says,
just to be difficult.
I'll see what the steward can do about that. In the meantime, how deft of it? I'll send in the sketch artist in order to assist you. And when the sketch artist arrives, is your sketch already done? Or
yes, because he only stipulated that it had to be on their stationery.
Well, that was more of a. You get the feeling that was more of a just like a talking point. He basically wanted you guys to be under guard at the station. But yeah, roll me a performance check to see how well your sketch was. You only ever saw. Actually, did you even see any of your facial features?
I was in that corner. I saw him when he took off his mask.
Right, one person, yeah. The other one you didn't see at all.
Oh, but I can make a pretty good guess on weight, height, and body build.
Yeah. So when the sketch artist when the sketch artist arrives, he sees your work, and he said, and he just whistles and he says, "You have some talent there, miss. I don't think I can improve on this. I'll get this to the captain." And as he leaves with your drawings, a steward enters carrying a tray with paper cups, one of which is it's not apple juice. I believe you ordered apple juice, right?
Yeah, go right.
Yeah, it's not apple juice, but it's orange juice. And he says, "Sorry, we're fresh out of apple juice. It's difficult to get apples this far up north."
I'll just kind of look at the orange juice and just not even drink it and just put it on the table.
Okay.
And
And he has tea in one of the other cups and some calf in a jug. About 10 minutes more, the captain returns with several guards, and he has like a look upon his face, like a stern look upon his face, and he says, "I have some questions. First off, who is that in the bag? Why is there a dead person in your bag of holding?"
Thalia will truthfully remark. She will look him in the eye and say, "This is who the people that attacked us killed. We are going to take her home, and the bag of holding is the best way to preserve her."
Yes, I recognize the spell of preservation. And he says, "Actually, roll me a persuasion."
What's it with everybody rolling low?
It's one of those situations where you roll low when you need it. He says,
and I'll ask, well, I didn't know you had a warrant to search our bags. You and I both know that's now fruit of the poisonous tree. You can't use that in anything.
He says, "I don't know where you come from, sir, but things work differently up here." And he says, "Regardless of which, the magistrate will want to speak with you."
I'll kind of grumble over to Thalia. This is why I didn't tell them about it.
Thalia is going to make one more sketch. She's going to sketch the homeless guy she gave the money to.
Sure. While you do that, the captain asks you guys to because he asked you to hand over your bag and your weapons, but he didn't ask you to like basically take off your armor. But he does instruct you. As of now, I'm placing you three under arrest for suspicion of murder.
That's our friend. That's Seraphina. She's part of our order, and she'll bring out her watch.
I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of this when you speak with the magistrate. But for now, I need you guys. I need you all to hand over the rest of your armor and belongings.
Thalia promptly hands over everything but her armor, which was glamored as a coat earlier.
Yeah, they actually, unless you guys resist, they actually take you to individual rooms and hand you basically outfits, not prisoner outfits, but they're plain, just plain clothes.
Milo asked if he can keep his cane.
Is there anything special about your cane? I believe your cane is the cane sword, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's supporting himself on it, and yeah. So he's
I'm going to roll a check to see if the guardsman looks towards the captain, and the captain takes the cane and visually inspects.
Milo says it's a gift from his late wife.
And then she also states we are here on House of Alexandria's orders.
He rather condescendingly says to you, "Yes, I'm sure you are, and you probably have a queen's writ as well. Sorry, an empress's writ as well." Give me one moment to let me see what his investigation role would be. It's intelligence, isn't it?
Oh, no. Let's see.
Investigation is intelligence.
So he finds your sword cane after rummaging about it for a bit. He manages to depress whatever mechanism that pops the blade loose of its sheath, and he scowls like rather ferociously, and he says, and he turns towards the guards and says, "Put manacles on them. The magistrate wants to see them." Do any of you resist being manacled?
No, but Thalia will whine about it.
Okay.
And I'll simply say I'm not saying a fucking thing without a lawyer.
Roll for whining.
What would that be?
I have no idea.
Performance?
Probably persuasion.
Sure, performance. Why not? Whining is a performance, right?
Apparently, I'm not very good at it. I'm mediocre at it.
Okay. So they lead you under guard, manacled, through a sky bridge that links the city hall and the guards, the Hall of Justice together. They take you to someone's office after a few twists and turns, while Thalia winds some portion of the way there.
Did they manage to take her armor?
Yes, they did.
Damn. Is she still wearing a bra?
It's up to you. They gave you a plain set of basically commoners' clothing to change into.
Does Milo
All
wear
right.
glasses? Oh, we're separated. Never mind.
No, you're currently together.
Oh, okay. Does Milo wear glasses?
I don't know. I don't think he does.
I want to say he does because he's an old man, but
You do not currently have your spell focus with you, so you
I know,
can't
that's what I was
cast
looking
anything.
for.
Yeah. Unless you have a piece of copper wire.
That's why I was asking if Milo had his glasses.
No, he doesn't wear glasses normally.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay, then never mind.
So yeah, So yeah, you get led to an office, and without much further ado, the guardsman rather unceremoniously deposits you within an office and close the doors on your side, and stand on guard on your side. There's the not the guards captain. There's three rather burly looking individuals with their arms crossed, standing in front of the door. Standing at the far end of the room behind a desk, similar to the way that Alexander's office was set up, is a tall, slender elf who turns around and rather unceremoniously says to you, shit. Rather unceremoniously says to you, Bori tells me that you three are under suspicion of murder and mayhem. What have you to say for yourself? And as she says that, she flicks her finger.
Anything happen from the finger flicking?
I would like for all of you to roll me a charisma saving throw.
Fantastic.
Actually, before we do this, out of you three, and in the future, I'm just going to assume that you're always carrying it with you unless you tell me otherwise. How many of you are carrying your silver timepieces?
Mine's in my coat. They took it in my. I think they took it from me.
Did you try and keep it?
No.
Okay. Thalia?
Thalia never has it on her unless she's showing somebody something.
Okay. Perrin, not Perrin.
Milo.
Milo, Hilo. Are you?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so you have advantage on your saving throw for whatever reason.
And before she flicks her finger, are we together or are we still separate?
Yes, you're all together.
I'm gonna simply say I want a lawyer.
Which is the truth, right?
Which is absolutely the truth. I'm not saying another thing without my lawyer present.
You know what? Thalia will go up on that, and she'll say, provided by the House of Alexandria.
I'll take my public counsel.
So, charisma save. Okay, so all three of you fail. You are now in a magical zone of truth that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere, which you guys are in. Centered on a point. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the area for the first time or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw, which you failed. An affected creature is aware of the spell. You are aware that you are being compelled to tell the truth magically, and thus can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. However, otherwise, anything that comes out of your mouth is truth.
And I'm aware that I'm under a truth thingy?
Yes, you are completely aware of you're under a truth thingy. And she says your reply, she or he rather, the person is rather androgynous, even for an elf.
This is bullshit. That's what I say.
And she says, I am told you have a halfling found dead within your possession, and you claim to have been responsible or in the vicinity of the fireball spell in the alleyway just west of the museum. Is this true?
Is she looking at anyone in particular, or?
Thalia says, we're waiting for you to contact our lawyer.
She says, you're not under arrest yet. You do not require a lawyer. Unless you wish to require a lawyer.
Well, the ray of truth changes things. And well, since I'll be like, well, can I have a second? And like kind of like huddle like over to Thalia and Peren.
Sure, but you're not entirely sure.
We have no expectation of privacy in the police station, I'm aware.
Yeah, no, you have no expectation of privacy here as well because there are 3 guardsmen like 10
well,
feet
I was
away
kind of,
from you.
I'll kind of like just mutter over to him, like, well, since we can't lie because of this, we might as well just tell her the truth. I kind of look over at Thalia and Peren.
Might as well tell the truth. Let's start from the very beginning so they know that we're telling the truth.
Her name is Seraphina, the halfling. She was our friend and she came with us.
Yeah, anything about her, Milo would, and what just happened, Milo would go into. Anything that goes beyond that, he would not say another word.
Okay. She asks you if you 3 were responsible for it. She or he starts to ask you if you 3 were responsible for her death, but then catches herself and changes the question to, are you 3 responsible for killing her?
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And she actually says, truth. Even though she doesn't need to. And she asks,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can you ask us who sent us here?
Very well. Who sent you here?
House Alexandria.
Truth. What is your business here in Winterhold?
This was just a pit stop.
Pit stop. We were on the Talon. We wanted to see the museum and got ambushed by 2 whatever elves or half elves in the hall. They grabbed something from Seraphina and we chased them down, and then we had a bit of a row in the alleyway.
You see her reach into her desk, and she pulls out 3 familiar sheets of paper. Thalia, that you recognize as your drawings. And then she glances down at it for a moment, and she turns up and asks, do you know, or are you aware, are you responsible for, do you know who is responsible for the explosion at the Gantry?
No.
No clue.
We were on our way back when it blew up, and we were trying to make our way back when these professional guards of yours, but I'll say it with spite, prevented us from trying to find any crew or survivors in the wreckage.
She shakes her head. She leans kind of forwards a little bit, and she says, there was no one found within the Gantry who was alive. Saboteurs detonated the Aetherium refueling tank that was refueling the ship. We're lucky the ship did go up with it. And then she reaches her hand forwards and waves her hand, and you guys feel the zone of truth dissipate. And she nods. She looks up at the guards and says, "Guardsmen, you can remove their shackles." And she turns towards you and says, I must apologize for these precautions. Not every day someone explodes, someone destroys the Gantry. She gestures as you guys get your shackles unlocked and stuff. She gestures a hand, and 3 seats slide from the corner of the room by like a fireplace. Because of course there's a fireplace in the office, because that's totally safe. That slides in front of the.
It's for burning evidence.
And she kind of gestures for you guys to take a seat and says, "My name is Magistrate Anderson Ravel. I'm sorry that your arrival to the city was under such circumstances, and the guards were only doing their jobs. You must excuse their caution.
Can we have our belongings back now?
Yes, they will be returned to you.
Including our deceased friend.
We want to get her
She
home
nods.
if we can't get her brought back. Matter of fact, where would we find I guess I'll say the victims of the bombing, because there's another member of our party that may have died with the explosion.
They are being collected in the morgue. I'll have some guards escort you. And she uses the word escort with like the actual terminology of escort, not like not like herd. I'll have the guards escort you to it after this meeting. For now, then she like turns the sheets of drawing up around and slides them towards you, and she says, "It would seem that you have run afoul of the shard. Sorry, the black shard."
The black shard, you say?
I don't recognize this individual, and she taps the one that's you've drawn with the cowl down. But I recognize the outfit and the modus operandi.
Who are the black shard?
They are, well, some would call them a gang, but they're more than that. They don't hold any territory per se, and they tend to operate some of the more unscrupulous activities in Winterhold.
Okay, so for my notes, I can pretty much put Winterhold Mafia.
But the Black Shard in particular are known for assassinations and the such, but typically they don't operate against common citizens and other types of city officials. They tend to limit their activities to other gang members and such riffraff amongst the city, pirates and such, you understand. So the guards have little incentive to actually go after them and curtail their activities. Do you know why they targeted you? For it seems clear now that this was some kind of targeted action.
We've been hired to do something, and apparently they don't want us to make it to where we're heading. And that's all we can say.
So you're not at liberty to tell me what it is, your business.
If you want, you can send word to House Alexandria. You can give them our names, and if they want you to know, they'll tell you.
She nods. She says, I will take your word for it. And you don't need to roll an insight check to tell that she will do precisely that.
That's fine.
On.
I'm not going to be the one to piss off Alexandria.
Yeah, considering that they are basically the most powerful noble house in Helios, it's probably something along the lines of her thinking as well.
Yeah. A little CYA.
And she says, well, in regards to your current predicament, I'm afraid that the ship, the Talon, your ship rather, won't be able to restock and refuel using the Gantry here. So there will be a convoy being sent out to the Everboil Springs, about a day's travel northeast of here, where they will refuel and load the Talon, resupply the Talon manually. If you wish, you may travel with the convoy up to your ship in a day's time.
We sent word to one of the people on board, and they said that they will be sending people to us.
I see. Then I suppose I leave it up to your choice. Do you wish to wait for their team to get here? I've heard no such word of this. Or do you wish to wait for the convoy?
We're gonna, I believe, follow orders, and if not save any, not save anyone from the wreckage, at least get a count of the dead and maybe something that maybe dog tags to take back to them. But we're gonna wait here till they come retrieve us.
She nods and she says, well, if your friend was just killed, the captain informs me that the spell will only last for less than 10 days.
Well,
If you
go ahead.
if you plan on performing some kind of rite to bring her back, it'll have to be before then.
We are well aware of that.
Is there any place here in the city that, like a holy place that could, a church, temple here that could do that?
She shakes her head and she says, we do have a shrine to the Dawn, the Lady of the Dawn. However, the father there recently passed, and we have yet to receive a replacement from Helios. However, you may go there and seek services. I'm not sure how much help they would be. However, word of caution, however, the Black Shard, are not known for their... Let's just say they're known for their tenacity. It is not likely that they're simply going to give up just because they failed at this attempt. I can provide you guardsmen as escort if you wish.
Thalia, can you contact Whitmore again, or you?
I need some copper to contact him, but since we have our stuff back, it shouldn't be a problem. But do you want me to contact Whitmore or Alexandria?
Well, let's find out if we can go take this convoy back to Whitmore instead of waiting for them. We could get there faster. But I don't want to break protocol or orders, but I don't want to stay here and get murdered by these shard bastards. If we tell him we have transportation to the hot springs, where I guess where they're loading it now, maybe we should just do that.
Okay, I can try. So she'll go ahead and cast sending to Whitmore Wilmore again.
We'll get his name eventually right before he dies.
His first name is Wilmore, his last name is Whitmore.
His parents did not like him.
It's Wilmore.
Yeah, it's Will. Oh, yep, that's it. That's canon now.
And his middle name is Willie.
Wilmore.
His first name was Will, his last name is Moore. That's canon now.
Okay, let me write that down.
All right, so after a moment, she like there's a knock at the door, and one of the guardsmen unlocks the door and opens it, and there's a half elf pushing a cart, like a little hand trolley, and on top of which, in several boxes, is your accoutrements.
Did they put Seraphina back in the bag of holding?
Yes, they did put Seraphina back in the bag of holding. She's not lying on the little tray trolley. Yes, no, they push in a morgue bed, and Seraphina, like a little halfling morgue bed, which I suppose is exactly a tea tray trolley.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Seraphina is sprawled on top of it. No, that didn't happen.
It's a slab.
And she says, yes, here's your belongings. I'm sorry for the mix-up. You understand that the guardsmen are on edge after the incident at the Gantry.
I understand, and for my part, I apologize for being on edge myself. This was unexpected, and we were attacked, and No one seemed to give a shit what we were saying to him.
She nods, and she says, "If there's nothing else, I have several other meetings that I must get to. Whether you go to the morgue or to the shrine, it's up to you. These 3 guardsmen will escort you at your leisure. For today, I think they have other duties to get to."
And I'll say thank you, and then in front of everyone, because I'm still pissed off, I'm gonna strip off my commoner's clothes, butt ass naked, and start putting all my clothes back on.
Thalia promptly responds, "Ew, Elvie, we didn't need to see that."
What did Whitmore say?
Oh yeah, she sent word to Whitmore, that's right.
Okay, so what did you send to Whitmore?
Saying, met with magistrate, meeting at wherever it was she mentioned. We have transportation, meet you there.
Okay. So Wilmore will sends you back a message saying, apprised of current situation, sending small detachment to Gantry wreckage. Best if you join convoy and meet us here at Everboil. Yeah, that's the message. And I'm going to take a quick look at Rick's character.
Which would be a perfect time because you said a short convoy.
So I give you a few choices. No, there are no other halflings on the ship, so you can't be one of the soldiers. Have you got any kind of idea for your background, like your backstory?
Not completely. I just picked the urchin based on the utility and kind of the ease of putting them wherever you need them to be.
Hey, he can be the witness.
While this is going on, I'm going
Well,
to pull Seraphina's body out of my bag and take back the night vision goggles.
Well, first off, where are you guys headed?
I guess the morgue.
Okay.
And I guess if they haven't collected them, I'll ask the mortician. I need all the dog tags collected, and then we'll start looking for Arthur.
All right, so you guys arrive at the morgue. The mortician has about 30 bodies racked out through the rooms with sheets over them. Some of them in some condition, some of them not.
I'm looking for the biggest one because he had that huge set of armor.
Yeah. So he tells you that some of them have already been processed, is the terminology that he used. And you ask to see the biggest individual. You pull the sheet back, it's a dead Goliath. Clearly not Arthur, because Arthur is not like 8 feet tall. Like he's lying on the mortuary bed, like the mortuary table, but his legs are like bending like
Way
at the
6 inches to
knees.
be.
No, just because the dude is so tall that his like legs are hanging over the edge of the table.
Oh, gotcha.
And you guys investigate and work your way down the various bodies. There's heaps of, like I said, it's 30 something people. You get 8 or 9 through, and none of them are Arthur. And then you make your way through like another 10. And it's starting to get to the stage where like you're going by size, so it's starting to get to the stage where like unless he's in pieces,
Yeah.
like, do you keep going?
I'm gonna look at all of them. Yeah.
All right. So you pull back a sheet off a pretty small body, and there's a halfling lying dead on the table. And all of a sudden, his eyes snap open, and he starts screaming. And then the mortician starts screaming, and then you guys probably start screaming.
I'll take one hand.
No, Thalia's thing is if he's alive, she immediately.
All right. So, Brophy,
I'm
you
pulling out my pistol and about to jam it in this dead thing's face.
And the mortician runs out the door screaming about the undead. So Brophy, the last thing you remember was watching a giant iron airship docked at the Gantry. This impossibly long, like, I forget how exactly the dimensions of it. It's at least like, I think it's like at least 200 feet. No, maybe not that much. Do you guys remember the dimensions?
I do not.
Of the aerodynamic fellas?
It was just huge.
We just called it a big flying metal dong. I mean, at least I did.
So this at least 200 feet metal boat that flies. When all of a sudden the tower that it was docked on exploded, and that was the last thing you remember, except for something about fog, and someone with really, really intensely hot hands, like as in temperature hands, shoving you backwards and you falling. Next thing you remember, you're waking up with this weird human fat man kind of hanging over you.
Gun in his face. Gun directly in your face.
So Brophy's just going to let out this ear-piercing shriek and be like, "No, don't shoot me!" And he's going to like fall over himself, falling off of the table and just like looking for any type of cover.
Thalia, unfortunately for you, he's naked.
What is it with guys and being naked today?
It's been a long week, alright? Are you really dead or are you really alive?
I don't know. And he starts like patting himself and making sure there's no holes where there shouldn't be. He's like, the last thing I know, like everything was blowing up around me, and then you want to shoot me? Why do you want to shoot me? Don't, please. Violence is bad.
Well, he seems to be alive, and I'll put the gun away.
And he like sighs and visibly relaxes a little bit.
I'll help him up. Well,
right, so I assume you guys like
wrap
a sheet around him or something.
I don't. I just help pick him up off the ground.
Okay. Right. This is when you guys all notice that he has a very visible handprint, an imprint of a hand on the center of his chest. Almost
You're
like
not working for any white wizards, are you?
Almost like a brand.
Does it say above it, "We know"?
No. The handprint has the index finger, the pinky finger and the ring finger closed. The middle finger and index finger extended in together, and then the thumb splayed out to one side. In fact, I will attempt to draw.
Oh yeah, it's art time.
So like a European 3, like they're counting?
I'm not sure what a European 3 looks like.
Like they stick out the thumb first and then the index finger and then go from there?
Listen, I think we've all seen Glorious Bastards.
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah, that's 3.
Except obviously the index finger is supposed to be a little bit longer. It's not missing its tip.
He's
You
flipping
Mr.
us
Fat.
off. Okay,
Yeah.
so did Thalia actually speak?
Yes, and she actually healed you a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
have not yet 10 hit points.
he suddenly realizes that there's a woman in the room and he's completely naked, so he's going to shriek again and look for the nearest thing to possibly cover
Yeah,
himself.
you were half covered by a sheet when you fell out of the mortuary bed, which you now realize is a mortuary bed.
I'm gonna look at Milo and say, "God, dog, not God, dog, but man, he's very high pitched."
Well, you see this gigantic metal boat in the air just like explode and like everything come down around you, and then there's this.
Oh, he
Ow.
talks a lot. Shh, stop talking. And then I guess while this is going on, I'm going to just kind of start looking for more bodies. I'm gonna look through the rest of them.
Sure, none of them. As you sort through the rest of them, none of them are Arthur. He's not in the mortuary.
Well, that's a good sign.
Brophy, you do spot in the corner of the room, up on these carts, is a familiar looking bag, as well as like piled on top of it, in like a almost like a paper in a cardboard box is your gear.
My stuff. And he's gonna
A
race
little
over to
bit-
them.
A little bit worse for wear. Like some of it looks a little bit singed, and there are a little bit tears on the pants, in the ass area, but otherwise it looks largely intact.
By this time, he's probably bright red, and he's just trying to yank on his pants as fast as he can, and then make sure his hammer is still there.
Yeah, everything looks largely intact. Surprisingly, Winterhold is a bit of a rough place. You weren't expecting your gold to still be there, but apparently the morticians didn't like rifle through your stuff and take your gold.
Also, one additional note: in the class features for the barbarian, it said that I could either incorporate gear like feathers and teeth or whatever, or I can have an aspect of the animals I choose.
Sure.
I'd like to have like just a skull as like a helmet. It doesn't really provide AC, but it's
Okay. So a wolf skull.
Yeah.
Do you literally want to be like, not a skull per se, but like, I forgot what the Roman terrari, I think they were called. They were the wolf skin wearers, and they were like the skirmishers, like the young guys, and they wore like a wolf's head on their head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this weird ass ex-dead halfling. I should point out another thing. You don't have wounds on you, although you feel much the worse for wear. However, you do have a new scar on you that you don't remember having. It is healed, so like it's just the faint, like it's almost like new skin, like the pink. It's like a pink scar. It's in the shape of a Y incision, so it's rather disturbing.
Oh, when he pulls out the skull, is it like a good? I mean, he's a halfling, so I mean,
Yeah,
is it like a dog, or like a young wolf, or like is it like an actual full wolf?
It's a little bit ridiculous. I believe it's like a full wolf, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit too large for his head.
I'll see that, and I'll like, can I see that? And like look at the skull.
He'll like kind of show a slight look of mistrust and worry and be
I'm
like,
gonna give it back.
But sir, I hardly know you. This is very, very special to me. Why might I ask you're asking for it?
Well, I happen to be a game hunter myself, and I just wanted to look at your trophy. Did you kill this beast yourself?
Yes, I did. It was how I had to prove myself to my tribe, and it's obviously a bluff.
Well, I mean, I don't care. I just want to see the skull to look at it, like just to give it a once over. I'm not gonna. I'll give it back. I promise. Where am I gonna go?
He will very obviously reluctantly like pull it off of his head and like wince and hand it to you.
That's rather an impressive kill, considering. No offense, I have nothing but respect for the smaller folk. That's
Roll
a
me an
really good.
investigation over that.
Okay.
And did you kill? You said you did not, in fact, kill this wolf, right?
Well, he killed it, but the whole tribe part was a bluff.
Right. Okay.
You said, I'm sorry, insight or.
Never mind. Don't worry. I was gonna make a joke that it has on the inside of it that there's a tag that says "Made in Northgate."
Yeah,
no,
it's completely plastic. I just don't realize it. But
no, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The roll.
I'll look at it and say that's. I mean, there's no actual damage to the skull itself. How did you kill it? And I'll hand it back to him.
He'll just kind of like twirl this warhammer that he has, and it looks like it should be really awkward and heavy for him, but he's twirling this with relative ease. You know, it doesn't matter where you hit something with one of these, as long as you hit it.
And there's very few scrape marks. That's a good, clean job. I'm impressed. And yeah, I've handed it back to him. Just any trophies with any, and then like, I'm like, Milo, let me see your pistol real quick, and I'll show him the tooth. There's a crocodile in the sewers in Helios, which is like just a big myth that I'm going to hunt one day.
It just looks like ivory, although it's got a weird like yellowish tinge to it.
He'll look at it kind of as like he's trying to inspect it, and he obviously can't place it, and he's just gonna like, yeah, nice trophy from a crocodile. Just obviously not believing it's anything of any value.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much veracity you put in the reports of a crocodile in the sewers.
Everyone says that, but I'm telling you, it's there.
All right, so the mortician hasn't come back yet. So what are you guys doing? And Arthur is clearly not here after looking through all the bodies.
Well, I don't know if he gave me all the dog tags from the dead Marines yet, but if not, I'll wait for him.
Okay, so you find 3 dead Marines. None of them you recognize. And you don't find their dog tags on them, but you do find it similarly in the pile nearby.
I'll take them, and when the convoy when we get back, I'll give them to Whitmore.
You also find amongst their belongings 3 Howdy pistols.
No, I'm not taking
and
Take
an
'em.
assortment of ammunition for it.
Not taking dead men's weapons. These are good guys. No, I'm not taking them.
As well as 3 cavalry sabers, or rather, I guess they would be shipboard sabers.
Nope.
Call them dragoon sabers, actually.
It's bad luck. If you don't kill these guys on the battlefield, it's bad juju.
All right, so what are you guys doing? What's the plan at the moment?
Well, I guess we gotta wait till morning for the convoy, correct? Are they coming tonight?
They are leaving now. No, sorry, they're putting it together now, and then they're leaving in the morning.
Well, I guess we got an evening to kill, so I could go for a steak.
You are reminded, standing in the mortuary, that you have a dead person in your pack.
Oh yeah, that whole. I guess we should go to the temple and see if there's something they can do to bring her back.
You have no idea what they're talking about, Brophy.
Yeah, he's just in the corner, like grabbing his stomach, looking uncomfortable.
Thalia looks at Obi and goes, "You really want steak surrounded by this much burning flesh?"
Listen, as someone, I would prefer a drink, but I don't want to go down that road again. So yes, a steak would be preferable to what I really want.
Wait, when have you denied a drink?
I haven't drank. I drink nothing but water. Water and juice.
Brophy was eyeing him with interest, but upon hearing that, he like dismisses him and goes back to looking around.
What is your passive perception, everyone?
Oh, mine's ridiculous. It's like 22 or something higher. Let me see.
Because you have expertise in your.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we decided that your the observant feat doesn't give you +5 to your passive, but just gives you advantage on rolls, right?
Okay. Oh, that's right. So I'm at 16, I guess.
All right. so it is meet or beat. So you catch Milo hanging about the belongings area, but like each time you look, you never quite catch him taking anything from the pile. He just seems to be looking through it.
Oh, whatever.
But he suspiciously jingles a little bit when he walks when you guys leave.
He's got all those spare parts. He's got all those gears and stuff.
Yep. When you guys exit out into the hallway, you find 40 feet away, nearing the corner of the end of the hallway, lying on the ground, is the mortician. He appears to have slipped, fell, and hit his head on something, and is currently just like unconscious on the ground, snoring.
Thalia would go and cast a level 1 cure wounds on him.
Okay. Oh, as you do this, Thalia, there's something of concern to you. You suddenly realize that your link to the spell orb has been broken.
Oh, okay.
So it no longer exists. It's gone. The mortician mutters awake, and he's a rather burly-looking man with a thick beard. But he kind of, his eyes wheel a little bit, and they kind of focus, and then they slip past your shoulder, and he gets a petrified looking expression on his face, and he gives out this quite high pitched squeal, and then just like his eyes roll into the back of his head, and he just slumps over unconscious again.
It's just like his office, like where he's at, kind of passing out.
No, he's passed out in the middle of the hallway after like.
You know what? Thalia goes to the guys. Help me get him on a bed. We'll just cover him up.
The guy's been through enough. I'm gonna pick him up and look for his office.
No. Let's put him on the bed, cover him up, and he can scare the next person that comes in.
You want someone to die, have a heart attack? Look at this guy. He can barely take this. Let's not make him think he died.
Thalia grumbles. Well, it's just such a great joke, but oh well, yeah, we'll go find his office.
And I'll look for it. Can we find his office?
Yeah, it takes a little bit of searching, but yeah, on the same floor is an office.
I'll plop him on his chair, and does he have like an obvious lunch around in the area?
And the plaque on the office says mortician, but the rear end of the word has been covered over by a piece of paper and has been replaced by Y, so it just says Morty.
Oh, it's this guy. Yeah, but I'm gonna steal his lunch if he has one.
It's like bacon egg sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take half, and I'll give half to the guy who just came back from the dead. You can't miss that grumbling.
Okay.
It
So where are you
immediately
guys off to?
disappears.
And Brophy, are you following these weird people, or are you heading off on your own?
Well, he already got food passively from one of them, and he's still hungry. He's a halfling, so lacking nothing better to do. I mean, one of them already healed him a little bit. He's just going to tag along for a minute.
Did you guys bring up the fact that you guys are from the Talon?
Yes.
I don't think I have, but I mean, if he asks, I wouldn't hide it.
Yeah. So if you I think at some point you find out that they actually came off the big metal bird.
You guys were on that? How are you still alive?
Well, we weren't on it when it exploded. We were on our way back to it.
Oh. And he's
Right,
just like
so-
quiet in thought.
So are you guys headed off to get food or headed off to go to the shrine?
Oh, I had a snack, so we'll go to the shrine.
Okay. All right. So, in your direction, so the guards have gone off to do their own thing. By the way, but several people do point you towards the shrine of Eos, or the Dawn Shrine rather. It's placed on top of a little bit of a hillock. Not very tall, like probably 10, 20 foot above the rest of the city. Surprisingly enough, the place is empty. Think of it as a small, like in terms of size and kind of like in terms of size and like general layout. Think of it as a small like what is this? It's not a Baptist church, is it? It's one of those old school churches. Like it's got the pews and it's got like the pulpit, and it's got a large stained window at the end of it with the classic like flat land, like slightly curved flat landscape. Let's see if I can draw. With like a sun peeking up the edge of it. And a road. Yay, art!
Well, I would say, do I recognize this? But can I roll like a religion to see if I recognize whatever it is?
Yeah, sure.
Because I know religion.
I mean, the DC is like super low. So yeah, it's the symbol of Io, the Dawn goddess, Lady of the Dawn, rather. She is the twin counterpart to Selene, Lady of the Moon,
Whom I know.
which was Arthur's patron.
He always talks about her. He goes on and on and on. I'll look to Thalia and Peren. No, not Peren, but Milo, Hilo. Who you want to do the talking, Thalia? People tend to like you more than they like me.
Gee, I wonder why. And she smiles coyly.
People are idiots, that's why. And I will pull Seraphina's body out of my bag. I kind of put it over my shoulder. But not before I take back the night vision goggles.
Alright. So, the place is empty. However, something does catch your eye. Everyone roll me a nature check.
I'll take a 14.
Yeah. Brophy, that is the appropriate response. They just pull a dead halfling out of a bag. As if like everyone has dead halflings.
I'll kind of look around did we pick up a stray? I'll look to Thalia and Peren, Milo and see what they say. This other halfling following us.
She'll say, wait a minute, there's another halfling following us beside Brophy?
No, just him.
She'll be
I have
like,
the other
you fed
halfling-
him, you have to take care of him now, make sure he takes his walks, and...
Listen. When I get home, I have a dog. And I don't need another one. I was being polite because he came back from the dead. I'm assuming that makes you hungry. Did you not hear his stomach?
All right, so as you guys pull this body, and notice that the place is empty, all of you, however, do notice this weirdness, this oddity, shining through the place where the sun is on this pane, is almost a seemingly divine shaft of light that illuminates kind of like a spotlight on the ground near the pulpit. And it's not so much the fact that there's a spotlight of light on the ground, it's that the light is reflecting a small ritual chalk circle, intricate in its design and meticulous in its execution, drawn out on the ground. Circle itself is empty. It is not adorned with anything.
Well,
And
I'm not the magic type, but maybe this is where we put her.
and Thalia, you notice, and specifically in your mind, you kind of work out the angles a little bit, and you realize that it's like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and the sun is like, you know that this, just from like the basics of EOS like doctrine, that this window, the window depicting EOS, is always built facing the dawn, so where the sun would come up. So the fact that there's this shaft of light coming through when the sun is like technically behind you at the moment kind of like makes you go, huh, that's odd.
That is very odd, but she's not going to bring it to anybody's attention because they probably would. Well, Milo might find it interesting.
Obi wouldn't care.
Yeah, Obi wouldn't care. But reading the runes, what did the runes say? Is it basically something for a protection spell or something for like a preservation spell?
I will roll for Milo as well. Or would Milo just assist you?
Let's say Milo assists me.
Okay, sure. We'll go with that.
Because I have more knowledge of the divine than he does.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
true.
that's fair. That's totally fair. In which case, this would be... I won't make you roll again, but what is your religion? What is your religion modifier?
+1.
Mine's +4.
And he's eating a sandwich.
Sorry.
I ain't mad at you. I'm just, you're a halfling, or you're not. You have a thing for halflings.
Yes, he does.
All right. So the circle looks a little bit like this. Give me a moment. And then on 3 corners there are additional circles, which actually blanket over the corners of the line of the circle.
It's California.
Forming an equilateral triangle. And Thalia, it takes you a moment. You don't recognize the language. But you recognize as a powerful white school necromancy spell, or at least the setup for one. You recognize as well that the outer circle is in the shape of a spell. Actually, this is the part that Milo provides you. is the shape of a spell called a contingency. So it's built to trigger upon a certain clauses to be met, and the triggering spell is a powerful white skull. So in terms of like raise dead, healing, etc. The 3 circles themselves are empty. However, I would like everyone to roll me an investigation check. By the way, I prefer if we use open rolls. So if you go to your sheet, you can change it to open rolls. Of course, it would be you who notices this, rather just because it's rather insulting. Drawn near one of the circles. Okay, yeah. Actually, a friend of mine built a Roll20 D20 roller. Sorry, Discord D20 roller bot.
If you want, Kev, if you give me control of his sheet for the rest of the night, I'll just roll for him whenever he rolls.
Yeah, okay, that's
to make
that's
it easier on you.
Actually, you know what? For reasons, I won't do that for you.
Okay, well, I offered. I'm sure there's some sort of backstory thing.
I will roll for him.
Dig it.
So yeah, it's you who notices this. Near one of the circles, written in rather small writing, almost small enough that the others all missed it. Almost small enough that it almost requires you to use your eyes of minute seeing in order to.
I don't have them, but I do have a magnifying glass.
Oh right. So I thought you did have eyes of minute seeing.
Milo has them.
Milo has them.
Oh, okay then. In which case, you find this what appears to be writing, but Milo is the one who reads it. And it almost appears to be written in order to be read with eyes of minute seeing. And it says, "The diamonds go in the outer circles, you dummies."
Ha! That's awesome. Okay. So Thalia will place the diamonds in the circles and place Seraphina in the middle.
Okay. Who's nearby?
I guess I'll put Seraphina in the middle since I'm holding her, but I have no diamonds.
Okay. I believe, Thalia, you had some diamonds, yes?
Yeah. It would probably be in that spell component pouch that she looted from the butcher.
Yeah, I believe he had 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
He did.
He had 3 diamonds each worth 100 gold pieces. So do you place them all in the same circle, or do you place one each in each circle?
One in each.
And you place Seraphina's body in the circle. And much to your horror, there is at first you wonder if it's just a byproduct of someone talking about food and visiting the mortuary where there were several burnt bodies, but you start smelling like burnt bacon, and then you realize that Seraphina's body is smoking, and then but before you respond, or do you respond?
She has just seen the spell working, so as far as she knows, the spell is just taking any bad magic off, which could produce that smell.
I'll just chalk it up to I don't know magic.
Her body always was smoking.
God damn it. Kev, I have... Oh, you know what? I don't have inspiration. I do have inspiration. If I have inspiration, can I give it to...
Sure.
I'm giving you my inspiration, Brad. Because that was such a bad joke that you have to have it.
I'll mark it down in the sheet.
Take it away. Okay.
That was so terrible.
It was amazingly terrible.
All right, so there's a sizzling, and then before you guys kind of like you're a bit hesitant on which way to jump, like in order to stop the ritual or get away from the ritual. There's a blinding explosion of light where the body would be, which actually sends you guys flying in various directions, 5 to 15 feet. None of you take any damage from the tumbling. But when you look back, Seraphina is still there. I really hate to do this to Seraphina, who
Don't tell us
isn't
we
here.
just permanently killed her character.
Did we just turn her into a goddamn lich or something?
No. She's lying there on her back, and she appears to be breathing. The two copper pieces that you guys placed on her eyes are stuck in the ceiling for whatever reason.
That's impressive. I forgot about those.
She's Cyclops.
And maybe to Milo's entertainment, maybe not.
She's naked.
The front of her leather armor is missing.
Thalia gives Seraphina her cape.
And on her chest is a familiar handprint of the two fingers and thumb extended.
Oh.
She is breathing.
Are you guys related?
But she doesn't appear to be awake. She seems to be unconscious.
It's not racist to assume two halflings that have the same weird mark on their chest are related, right?
So Thalia is going to quickly jot down this symbol and what led to Seraphina having it, but just put it in her notes and forget about it at that point.
So she's breathing, but she's not. She's like comatose.
Yeah.
And then Thalia's going to redress Seraphina.
Okay, her leather armor is ruined, by the way.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure we can makeshift it with Thalia's old leather armor.
Well, if you can't repair it, I will take it. I have a dog. I have a dog. I need to outfit.
Does Milo have mending? Of course he has mending. He's Mr. Mendermobile. It would take you. You suspect that it would take you a good couple of hours in order to repair it.
He could, but he's taking his time for some reason.
He'll cast minor illusion a blanket to cover
her. I think Thalia has already thrown her cloak over.
Yeah, we don't trust your cloak, Milo. We feel you could see through it.
Yes. Yeah, I'll cast mending for a while.
All right. So, are you guys remaining here, or are you? I mean, the pulpit is somewhere halfway down. So the little stand is somewhere halfway down in the middle, and the place looks a little bit of a wreck.
Well,
several.
Can you heal her? She's breathing. I mean, maybe we can. How does this work? I don't know. Magic. I don't know.
We'll wait for her to awaken, and then we'll actually Thalia will go ahead and cast it now. There's no point in waiting.
Because we don't know how long it takes for someone to come back from being killed.
No, you don't have any concrete. All right, so she heals for 7 hit points. Brings her up to 8 hit points. You must be running low on spell points by now.
I'm at 7.
Yeah. So what's the plan now? Do you guys remain here, or do you head to the flow, or do you go somewhere else?
Well, she's still asleep, I'm assuming.
Seraphina's probably still asleep until Zyrathera comes back.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I guess we should wait. We should go to where we're supposed to meet the people heading to the. Wow, words are hard.
You turn around to go to leave. There's a familiar person standing in the doorway of the shrine.
Oh,
Depending on who it is, depends how I react.
It is this asshole.
oh, fuck! Can't you just leave us alone for one day?
He has both hands up and open, palm open.
I still reach into my bag of holding and pull out Griswold's and pointing at him.
Okay, so while you do that, he just says, "Peace. I mean you no harm."
I will openly say I don't believe you, but go on.
It's the
It
thief
is
that
the
stole from Seraphina.
yeah the one who killed Seraphina. And he says he just simply states the gantry was not of our doing. It was not agreed upon.
I don't believe you.
He nods his head and he says, "It's your prerogative. I simply came to let you know that the contract is no longer active."
It sounds like you got more to say, though.
Can we question you about why the contract came into being and how it came into being?
He gives a single shoulder shrug and he says, "It's quite obvious, is it not? We were hired to kill you, but we would do it our way, and the gantry was unnecessary. It was messy. It drew a lot of unnecessary attention."
I agree with that, but which of us was the target? Or were we all target?
He says,
Who hired you for the contract?
"We were told simply to prevent you from reaching the Shattered Peaks."
Well, who was the one that told you to prevent us reaching the Shattered Peaks?
He says, while we do not like being manipulated, please understand that there is some professionalism, some code of conduct that prevents us from disclosing the identity of our employers.
You know what I don't like? I don't like being stabbed with poison swords and daggers.
Hold on. Before Obi says that.
So, Milo, you cast suggestion.
Thalia cast Detect Thoughts before anybody casts anything else.
All right.
Okay. I would like for everyone to roll initiative just to see what the turn order goes in. Is it plus? Yeah, it must be plus.
So I make my statement.
All right. So Obadiah makes a statement. Wait, I'll bring. And also I'll roll for Milo.
It's +2.
Okay. Wow, that's terrible.
And
Milo finishes casting. Well, goes to cast suggestion, and his hand flicks out and counterspells your suggestion. However, Thalia, in the same movement, casts Detect Thoughts. It's a wisdom saving throw, yes? Oh, Nelly. So, rolled a 16. What's your spell save DC?
14.
All right, so you feel your spell grasp hold of his mind, and whether through some sort of innate resistance or training, you feel him shake loose of his of your spell. What was his initiative? What did I roll? Oh, it was a 9. So
He would have gone before me.
sorry. Actually, yeah, he would have gone before you. So instead of that happening, his other hand, the hand that he didn't this counterspell Milo's suggestion spell with, reaches behind him, and in a slashing gesture, there's some sort of like heat distortion ripple behind him, and he tumbles backwards through the heat distortion, and kind of like discorporates, kind of blurs out before it vanishes. And then you go to cast your spell, but you realize he's not there, so you don't waste the spell points.
Awesome.
oh, I hate assassins.
No. We hate magical assassins.
I hate magic in general. Besides you, the three of you I know. I wanted to shoot him, but I feel it's bad. It's bad karma to murder someone in a temple.
Well, violence is bad anyways.
Violence is very, very healthy. I would expect that of someone who's a hunter.
Sometimes it's necessary, yes, but violence for its own accord is very, very bad. We should avoid it when we have to.
What are you doing here?
Well, you fed me and she started to heal me, but I'm still kind of wounded. So I figured I'd tag along.
Did you guys tell him, by the way, that you guys are waiting for a caravan that's headed up towards Everboil Springs?
I haven't told him anything beyond feeding him half a sandwich because he came back from the dead.
Because I believe Thalia, you were the one who received the message, yes?
Yes.
So
we know where we're going.
Have you spoken about it, is what I'm asking.
Probably not.
Okay.
But she'll probably mention something like, are you going to follow us all the way to the hot spring?
Ooh, hot spring?
Yeah, you're I guess you're familiar with this surrounding location, so you're familiar with Everboil Springs. It is the tributary that feeds the actually I'll switch to the map. It is the tributary that feeds the river pouring into the city called the Boil. It's called the Boil because, unlike the Southern River, the water coming from the Northern River is not safe to bathe in because it's so hot. It's about roughly a day's travel. If you're fast, like yourself, if you're familiar with the terrain, probably get there in half a day. But it's of note because it is the only place up here in this glacial landscape that is warm enough for animals to basically graze and come and go unhindered. There's actually vegetation along some of the pathways. And in some areas where the river kind of snakes back and forwards, it's actually kind of tropical.
Does he explain that to us, that he knows everything about the city? Like he basically he knows how to get around the city without attracting attention?
He would probably glance at the unconscious halfling and at Thalia with slight blush and be like, well, if you're willing to take me along, I can get you there much quicker than you probably would be able to.
Thalia piggybacks Seraphina so nobody tries to take a peek.
Well, we can't put her back in the bag of holding. What's your name?
Why, my apologies, good sir. My name is Brophy Bajiri. Pleasure to meet you. And he kind of like sticks out his hand uncertainly.
I'll kind of, not necessarily like Hulk Hogan look around, but like kind of like, I'll
Batman
literally...
Hogan, look around?
No, that's uncalled for. I'll shake his hand and say, well, what can you tell us of the city? Is there like a... You know what, you might know. Thalia was asking earlier, are there any like magic shops around here? Maybe black market off the main street?
There are no magic shops around here.
Well, related to that, I don't actually know the city itself unless this is where I was born in. I'll leave that up to you, Kev.
Well, we can talk about it afterwards.
It's just since I'm an urchin, I basically know how to navigate cities, how to find the secret areas, the back ways, if you will.
Yeah.
So I might not necessarily know like actually the city, but I know how to basically as I go find the little back ways to
It's funny
walk.
because Obadiah, you recognize this sort.
Oh, I know.
This is-
Yeah, he's a newsie.
This is the classic street rat.
Yeah,
I'm Aladdin.
He's Aladdin over here. I got that. But hey,
And
they're very useful.
And Brophy, despite him not wearing any kind of uniform or badge, you instinctively know that this is law enforcement. That Obadiah is law enforcement, rather.
I'm not from the city.
It doesn't matter.
Trust me, I'm retired. I've moved on in careers.
He looks at you with slight mistrust.
Yeah, did you like that, Brian?
Is that literally?
That's from the Newsies.
Yeah. There's,
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Yep.
So you know that if you were to leave now, you could probably get them there by morning. But morning is when the convoy leaves, so...
Guess we better get going.
Do you want a short rest in the tavern, or do you want to set out early and try and get there before the convoy even sets out?
I would say we get there, then rest there. But that's just me. I'm the only one, apparently a fourth of this party now. What do you guys feel?
Wait, so now we're B. S. M. T. Man, we don't have any vowels between us.
Oh?
Oh yeah, I forgot about you.
Could change to Njax.
No. We will make this work.
Please say we have a D somewhere. The next
Tombs.
person. Well, it's quite fitting considering what I've heard about this game. Just add raiders on after that, and we're set.
Kalima. To be fair, though, that's Tombs.
Yeah, Tombs is a good one. Yeah.
Well, the first one's
And when Arthur comes back in,
Raiders.
we're Adams.
Milo introduces himself to the new person as well.
Actually, why don't you each describe your characters, since we have a new actual player in the party, and then Brophy can describe himself as well.
Okay, Brophy, who would you like to investigate first?
Well, he'll probably start with the unconscious one, but seeing as they can't actually
Okay.
describe themselves, probably
So
come next to that as a female.
Seraphina is a halfling. I believe she is a stout halfling.
She is.
Okay. She is well, she was dressed in like leather armor, cloak, and I believe like a pair of wrist crossbows or hand crossbows or something, with like long swords down her back, daggers at her hips behind her waist. She is currently unconscious at the moment, and she's looking rather the worse for wear. Her clothes look tattered and burnt, several cuts and slashes and punctures through them, as well as, the general missing the front section of her armor, which you can't see because Thalia has her on her back. She is of slight and wiry frame, even for a stout halfling. You suspect that she's probably quick on her toes and of fair strength and constitution. But otherwise, apart from that, she's unconscious. So why don't we go from like top down? We won't like Juggy's not here, so Thalia.
Thalia is a very lovely half-elf female. She doesn't seem to be interested in you. Unfortunately. Let me get back to her page really quick.
Mental note, doesn't like short people.
She is very fair-skinned. She obviously looks at the musical sort. She now probably has her violin or her flute strapped to her back. She is wearing an armor that seems to change its appearance depending on where she goes. Probably at the temple, she'd probably be wearing something more temple-like. But it just changes appearances. You've noticed this. It's all very obvious. But you know that she was the one that healed you. And that she can cast spells, obviously.
Has he noticed this, or is this one of those things where like it happens when he's not looking?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
So every single time every now and then he'll like turn back and you'll be wearing something else, and he'll like start to like question his own sanity. Like, wasn't she wearing like a dress before, and now she's wearing a gown, or am I just going crazy?
Yeah, with my perception roll, it's probably entirely plausible that that's what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, sure. So I guess next would be Obadiah.
Obi is a large, fat man that... You guys watch Game of Thrones at all?
No.
Negative.
Yep.
He's basically like he's just constantly grumpy. Very rarely is he in a good mood. The first thing you really know of him is he had a gun jammed in your face. But he seemed to respect that you had a nice trophy, and he knew you were hungry, and he threw you half a sandwich. But he's a tall, jet black hair, gray eyes, big Teddy Roosevelt mustache, overcoat, pork pie hat, and just grumpy. Really, really grumpy.
Assassins tend to make him grumpy.
Yeah, and yeah, that one that we saw, he barely made it out alive, and I'm grumpy about that.
Yeah, he had 1 hit point. Milo, are you able to describe yourself, or should I?
No, he would describe himself. Hold on a second.
So this is just us what you're seeing. So he hasn't haven't been able to really talk to him yet, but he would talk your ear off a lot about his history and his likes and dislikes. But he is an elderly, almost ancient rock gnome. He carries around a wooden, almost like a walking stick, but if you look close enough, it's actually a shovel handle that has runes engraved on it. He wears pretty fancy clothes for just mulling around town, and he's constantly, even though he's older, he seems to be preoccupied with his appearance because he keeps on like fixing his hair, and when he passes a puddle or a window or something, he's looking at his appearance. He smokes a pipe. It's like ebony, all black once in a while, and he's always looking in books, and he's always fiddling with his pack. You would see that he has different experiments and different pieces of machinery with him, and I think that about sums it up. He has green eyes and white beard, white hair. Seems to always be wearing his top hat.
Fantastic. So, what is the party's current inclination? Do you head out 3 p.m. in the afternoon and travel overnight, or I believe that was Thalia's.
That was my idea.
Okay, sure.
It's up to everyone else. I mean, I'd like to get there, then we're just relaxed until we start out.
I'd agree.
I agree.
Okay, so you guys leave, not Northgate. You guys leave Winterhold via the Northgate, I should say, with the intent on following the boil northeast to its source, the Everboil Springs, where the Talon has diverted to an alternate landing spot. As you guys pass the central plaza, a little bit north, at the various like jetties and loading docks, you can see to your east, as you stand upon the bridge, the beginnings of a large convoy beginning to load up, and several these weird tanks, opaque tanks, being filled with something that you don't see at all. Like it's completely shrouded and covered, the filling nozzle, and it's under guard by several individuals, both armed with swords, rifles, and holding staves. Obviously magic focused staves. But you guys ignore all that because you guys decide to be cool and sit out early. And you guys leave your north gate. You pass through several hundred feet of basically underground, under ice tunnels. Well maintained, well lit, however, fairly obvious as the sun is on its horizon, that you're fairly deep under ice. It's not until you get to about half a mile clear of the north gate that you emerge from the first in the first clearing from under the glacier, out of the tunnels. And surrounding you is a winter wasteland of perpetual tundra. There is vegetation, but they tend to be of the evergreen sort. There's very little ground cover, like bushes, etc. No grass at all that you can see.
Obvious wildlife?
Not in the immediate area, although you do see signs of game irregularly.
Oh yeah, if I see any game between here and there, I might, if it's enough, I might go stalk it and try to shoot it, but...
Okay. You do see. Actually, roll me a perception check. Oh, okay. You don't even need to roll perception check, Brophy. Because you can see up to 1 mile of no difficulty.
Wow. That is...
Yeah, so Brophy, you do see overhead, kind of wheeling in a wide, lazy circle. High up overhead is an eagle. And off to the side, a distance for a bit, on top of a tree, at the very tops of a tree. Actually, it's kind of weird. Like it has ignored all of the branches, the side branches and etc. And it's sitting on top of this little branch that is bending underneath its weight. It's clearly not designed to be perched on. Is a raven, and it's kind of like, it's not cawing. It's not making any noise, but it's kind of looking at you guys with one eye from about 100 feet away, turning its head, looking at you with the other eye.
Oh my god, what is with my rolls tonight?
Welcome to the game.
Yeah.
Yep. But if I see any like actual game, like a deer or something,
I don't think you're intending on blowing away a bird and eating it.
No,
right?
yeah, no, this is, yeah, no, but like deer, elk, antelope, something that, well, not even antelope, that's way too big, something that we could like kill and bring to where we're going to clean and eat. But birds, nah. Maybe a rabbit, but
So
I got a lot of people.
the raven takes off and starts flying in an easterly direction. But you could swear as it was leaving, it called out. Except rather, it didn't call like a raven caw. Instead, it kind of coughed out this weird, like, dummies.
It's the three-eyed raven. It's brand start.
And that's where we'll leave the session.
Nice.
That's a short session.
Yeah, I figured you guys, like, I worked out a bit of a time zone, like, and I figured this is like 11, nearly midnight for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to do, Kev, is since she's kind of iffy, I'm going to reach into Seraphina's satchel holding and see if her lockpicking set is there.
Okay. How do you, Rob, Thalia, how do you feel about Obadiah?
I have her bag. I've had her
Yeah,
bag.
Obi has her bag.
Okay, everyone.
I've had her bag since before she died.
Okay, so first I would like for you to make me a deck save.
Oh, sweet.
All right. You take 1 point of damage as a mousetrap snaps on your hand.
That's whatever. keep in mind, this was my bag of holding before it was her bag of holding, but I'll take the 1 damage. That seems fair.
Yeah, we forgot that this whole time she keeps disappearing from us. She keeps searching for a mouse pet.
Yeah. Is it like this regular snap trap?
Yeah, it's just a regular spring.
I'm gonna go bugger and take it. I'm assuming one of my fingers, and I'm gonna fling it to the outside of it and get it off my finger.
You know what? That's a really good trap to have. Next time we hide a dead body in the bags, let's go ahead and put the mouse trap in after her, so whoever reaches in gets the mouse trap first.
I'm just annoyed.
But yeah, you pull out a small, well-oiled, very supple leather case with various like little. I think you're familiar with these tools, right?
I'm not proficient, but I've seen them, and my new goal is to become proficient with them.
Yeah, I mean, you've come across this in your line of work before, but
none of this
these are
well
clearly
taken care of. But these are really pristine.
Yeah, these are clearly well cared for, and probably something of a prized possession.
As Brophy sees you pull those out of the bag, his eyes are going to light up, and he's going to be like, "Oh, you have those?"
I do now. I'm gonna put in my thing even Seraphina's thieves' tools. Underneath body of Seraphina. Oh, I don't have the body of Seraphina in my bag anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a bad idea to put her in here at the moment, considering that like people can't breathe in a bag of holding.
Unless you shove down a tube from her mouth and put the tube outside the.
And then basically,
I don't think that quite works because like when you put an object into a bag of holding, it's not like in the bag; it like disappears as some like demi plane.
anytime I'm on downtime now,
Hey, it's a thought.
working on becoming proficient with these tools.
Okay.
Brophy will see you trying to learn how to use them, and he will assist you. He has proficiency with them.
Fantastic. I don't know how much gold it costs because I know I don't have enough, but just downtime it's going to be a while. So
yeah, it's probably going. If you want to learn it anytime soon to be useful, you're probably going to have to find someone who's proficient at training people, not just using it, but like teaching people how to use it.
Just in case, I would like to be able to do it.
Okay.
This one.
I mean, anyone can use a lockpick. Just like in order to add your proficiency bonus, you need proficiency.
That makes sense. That's cool. We don't know when she'll be back, so I will keep them for now. And I also have the night vision goggles I gave her because she doesn't need them.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot to introduce Brophy. Never mind.
That's okay.
All right, that's fun. I will.
It's just that you hadn't had anything written for your bio, so I just like for some reason my brain just skipped it. Did we lose Rum? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he had to go. Sound like.
Yeah, I know some people had like prior engagements today. All right, well that was fun. Good and bad. I'm sad to see Juggy go.
Yeah, that is very sad to see Juggy go, but life happens.
Yeah, he told me. So nothing against anyone in the group. I'm just going through some stuff, so I'm not going to be playing D&D with you guys anymore. I may come back later. I don't really know. I didn't want to offend anyone, but I couldn't think of a way to say it without feeling like someone would take offense. And I wanted to say something so that I wouldn't just disappear or anything. Thanks for all the games, is what he said.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if we did something to annoy him or or if he's going through some stuff, as he said.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would add the I don't want to say anything that would offend anyone comment.
Yeah,
because I didn't think he had any issues with anyone in the party, so unless he had issues with me.
Or me.
I don't know, but he'll eventually come back. Maybe, hopefully.
I mean, if he wants to come back, he's welcome to.
You know, this actually reminds me of a story about a friend of mine who played a baby gold dragon at 3.5. He snuck up on a bunch of dwarves. They all rolled nat ones. So he just followed these dwarves all the way through this one area. A bunch of thugs came out. And right where a thug was about to hit one guy, I just said this. It's like, I said this to my friend. Hey, are you going to eat that to them? There's a fucking baby dragon's following them. Yeah.
So yeah, who drew the circle?
Thalia's going to assume that it was some deity.
Well, deities don't typically go around calling you guys dummies.
The deity's name was Kevin.
And it definitely looked drawn. It wasn't just like projected.
For some odd reason, I'm thinking it's Arthur.
Oh, that would be a twist. But would Arthur call you guys dummies? Oh yeah, he totally would.
He has before. You know what? Since we're still there, you should totally put that orb of healing somewhere in that temple, so Thalia could find it.
No. You'll have to remake it.
Damn.
However, you get your spell slot back.
That's true.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go sort some stuff out. I'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Oh, by the way, in case you guys are wondering, I didn't improvise the entire thing on the spot. You remember last week when I said, do you guys want to leave it here, or do you guys want a cliffhanger? The cliffhanger was the Gantry exploding. I just didn't expect to have anyone go missing in the cliffhanger. Work that in. So if you guys had gone to the tavern, Brophy would have been at the tavern, but you guys went to the morgue instead. So I was like, fuck, how do I introduce Brophy? Oh, never mind. He's a victim of the explosion who just is alive for some reason.
Probably some workers stuff him in a barrel, you could say. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I'm going to get going. See y'all.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.